Want to speak real Romanian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at RomanianPod101.com.
Immersion is often hailed as the most efficient and effective way to learn a foreign language. In many ways, it's true. With all the language learning methods out there, nothing else comes close to having to think and interact with your environment in the language you're learning. Unfortunately, though, most language learners wrongly assume that the only way to experience language immersion is to pack up and move to a foreign country. But not everyone can afford to spend a summer abroad just to learn a foreign language. Luckily, there are other ways to immerse yourself. These methods are less obvious, but they are effective. In this video, we'll take a look at 5 steps you can take for the ultimate language immersion experience at home. Number 1. Transform your digital world into your target language. Technology is an indispensable part of modern life. We interact with phones, computers, tablets, and other electronic devices throughout the day. Why not take these interactions and use them to practice your target language? Most devices give you the option of switching the language of the operating system. Switching your phone or laptop interface to your target language won't make you fluent, but it will help you engage with the language in a very practical way multiple times every day. Another way to transform your digital life is to check which sites you use on a daily basis and use them in your target language also. A great example of this is switching your version of Google. Using Google in your target language will allow you to search for things in that language, and you're more likely to get results in that language as well. So, if you're looking for a popular band, a show, or food, something that's usually written in your target language, it will actually be easier to find information about it if you switch your version of Google. Of course, you can also change popular social networks like Facebook or Twitter. You can even go to news sites for your fill of global news. Do you like podcasts? Try listening to a couple popular podcasts in your target language. Number 2. Write out a speech or conversation in your target language. A surefire way to increase your ability in a foreign language is to write out a mock conversation or speech in that language. Pretend you have to give a speech on one of your favorite topics. It could be anything from sports, hobbies, or even your favorite movie genre. Now, take some time to write out your fictitious speech. Inevitably, you will hit some roadblocks. But when you get stuck, research the words or grammar points you don't know. This is a highly effective and practical way to increase your vocabulary, and it'll help you practice thinking in a different language. Writing a long, connected train of thoughts exposes the gaps and weaknesses in your language studying. Once you know what these are, you're free to practice them and use them to continue on with your speech. This is also a great way to learn new words in the context of your entire speech. Context is king when you're learning a language. Learning words in the context of other words and sentences helps you surmise what new words mean. It also helps you get comfortable with how these words are practically used. Not to mention, context helps you to remember and recall new information more easily. Number 3. Practice with native speakers. There are a lot of great learning resources out there for anyone learning a new language. However, nothing quite comes close to practicing the language with a real person. If you live in or around a large metropolitan area, there's a chance that there are some native speakers nearby. Check and see if your area has any local language exchanges or language-speaking groups. You're likely to find a native speaker there. If you can't make a connection locally, you can search online. Just as there are language exchanges in the real world, there are also online ones, most of which are free. Number 4. Connect with other language learners. Native speakers aren't the only people who can aid you on your language learning journey. Practicing with other learners is also helpful. Don't worry if you practice with someone who has a higher or lower level in the language than you. If you're the more advanced learner, you can learn a lot by teaching someone else. As you help someone else understand difficult words or grammatical concepts, you'll find that you start to better understand them yourself. If your learning partner has a higher level, they can be the one to help you overcome the hurdles you encounter as a beginner. After all, what better way to learn than from someone who, as a language learner, has been in your shoes? Number 5. Reward yourself in your target language. At the end of a busy day, we all love a little relaxation and me time. One of the most enjoyable and effective ways to develop your language skills is to kick back and enjoy the language while doing leisure activities. Whether it's listening to music, watching a movie or TV show, reading a book, or even enjoying a good online video binge, even spending just an extra 30 minutes a day doing something you love in your target language can yield some serious long-term results. If you're a beginner, start with more basic content. You might have to start out listening to simple songs or even watching children's shows. After a while, though, you'll be able to dive into the meatier stuff and more engaging stuff as your proficiency increases. Learning a foreign language doesn't mean you have to spend your days straining over grammar rules or textbooks. Any way that you can take your learning off the page and make it more enjoyable will help you learn faster. Immersion is a powerful way to learn a foreign language, and now more than ever, the immersion experience isn't limited to just world travelers. With a little creativity and the right resources, you can experience the language without ever having to leave your hometown. Many of these resources can be found with our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to immerse yourself in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Want to speak real Romanian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at RomanianPod101.com.
Thirsty.
Ați fi sete. Ați fi sete.
13.
13. 13.
33.
33. 33.
3.
3. 3.
Thursday.
Joi. Joi.
Time.
Timp. Timp.
Today.
Astăzi. Astăzi.
Toilet paper.
Hârtie igienică. Hârtie igienică.
Tomatoes.
Roșie. Roșie. Tomorrow.
Mâine. Mâine.
Tongue.
Limbă. Limbă.
Tooth. Dinte. Dinte. Toothbrush.
Periuță de dinți. Periuță de dinți.
Toothpick.
Scobitoare. Scobitoare.
Travel.
A călători. A călători.
Truck.
Camion. Camion.
Tuition.
Învățământ. Învățământ.
Turkey.
Curcan. Curcan.
Turn off.
A stinge. A stinge.
Turn on.
A aprinde. A aprinde.
Turnip.
Nap. Nap.
12.
12. 12.
21.
21. 21.
22.
22. 22.
2.
2. 2.
Ugly.
urât, urât.
Underline.
A sublinia, a sublinia.
Undershirt.
Tricou intim, tricou intim.
Underwear.
Lingerie intimo. Lingerie intimo.
University.
Universitate, universitate.
A fi, to be. So our first verb, a fi, it means to be. Let's see an example. Ea este sora mea mai mică. She is my little sister. Ea este sora mea mai mică. I didn't have a sister, but I do have many soul sisters, and they mean the world to me. A plăcea, to like. Our next verb, a plăcea, to like. Îmi place să mă plimb dimineața. I like to take a walk in the morning. Îmi place să mă plimb dimineața. I usually like to take long walks in the morning, but I'm too lazy to wake up, so that's a bit difficult and rare. A face, to do. Our next verb, a face, to do. De data aceasta, el și-a făcut tema foarte bine. This time, he did his homework very well. De data aceasta, el și-a făcut tema foarte bine. Good for him, whoever you are. Good job. A spune, to say. A spune, to say. Ea a spus că va fi acasă în seara aceasta. She said that she would be home this evening. Ea a spus că va fi acasă în seara aceasta. In this example, a spus is past tense. A explica, to explain. Our next verb is a explica, to explain. Învățătorul explică lecția. The teacher explains the lesson. Învățătorul explică lecția. In this example, învățătorul is a masculine form, so învățătorul is a male teacher. If we want to say a female teacher, it would be învățătoarea. Învățătoarea. Bună! Hello. Bună! 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 Bună dimineața! Good morning. Bună dimineața! Bună dimineața! We usually say bună dimineața in a very formal way. So I would say bună dimineața to my parents when I wake up, or when I get to school to my professors. It's quite formal. But if I would say it to my cousins or brothers or sisters or friends, I can be friendly and say Nața. Bună ziua. Good afternoon. The next one is good afternoon. Good afternoon. Bună ziua. Bună ziua. So if I see my professor, bună ziua. Bună ziua. First we did hello as in bună. So we use bună and then we add the time of the day. Bună ziua. Bună seara. Good evening. Good evening, we say bună seara. Good evening. Bună seara. We learn how to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Good morning, bună dimineața. Good afternoon, bună ziua. And good evening, bună seara. Cum vă numiți? What's your name? When we meet someone and they don't introduce themselves, we might want to ask them their name. So if they're about the same age and you want to say it casual, you say cum te cheamă? Cum te cheamă? Or cum te numești? Cum te numești? For example, if I see a little girl and I want to ask her name, cum te cheamă? Or cum te numești? However, if I address an older person, I would say, cum vă numiți? Cum vă numiți? Or, cum vă cheamă? Cum vă cheamă? The polite way in Romanian to address someone is usually to put it in the plural form. Even if it's only one person, we address that person as if there are more people. It's funny because in English you have you for one person or for many people, but in Romanian you can address to one person as if you're addressing more people. And that is polite. A auzi, to hear. Our next verb, a auzi, to hear. Am auzit trupa cântând la un concert. We heard the band play a concert. In this example, am auzit can refer to us, as in we heard, or is I heard. So I heard and we heard is the same form. Am auzit, past tense. A merge, to go. Our next verb is a merge, to go. Vara trecută am mers la Disneyland. Last summer, I went to Disneyland. Or last summer, we went to Disneyland. In Romanian, if I say am mers, it can be myself, or it can be in plural form, we. So I went or we went, am mers. Yeah, usually if it's a lot of sun, I really don't mind wearing something like this. If not in Disneyland, then where? Don't you think so? A ști, to know. Next verb, a ști, to know. Știu că ești obosit, așa că o să te sun mai târziu. I know you're tired, so I will call you later. Știu că ești obosit, așa că o să te sun mai târziu. To know is my favorite word. A ști. Îmi place să știu. I love to know. A lua, to take. A lua, to take. Când am fost bolnav, am luat acest medicament. I took this medicine when I was sick. In my case, because I'm a woman, I would say când am fost bolnavă. So, bolnav, bolnavă. Când am fost bolnavă, am luat acest medicament. Male version. Când am fost bolnav, am luat acest medicament. And female version. Când am fost bolnavă, am luat acest medicament. A vedea, to see. A vedea, to see. Aseară am văzut un film la cinematograful cel nou. We saw a movie at the new cinema last night. Aseară am văzut un film la cinematograful cel nou. Mă numesc Eva. My name is Eva. Let's say we asked a little girl, cum te cheamă? What's your name? And she might reply something like, Sunt Eva. Sunt Eva. Or, mă numesc Eva. Mă numesc Eva. Most of the times in Romania, we like to say I. So in Romanian, I is eu. Eu. That's why eu mă numesc Larisa. Eu mă numesc Larisa. Or, numele meu, my name. Numele meu este Larisa. Încântat de cunoștință. And, încântată de cunoștință. Nice to meet you. We have learned each other's names, and I feel nice to meet you. I feel that I'm happy to meet you. So I would say, încântată de cunoștință. Încântată de cunoștință. I'm a girl, and I would put a at the end of the word. Încântată. Încântată de cunoștință. If I were a guy, I would say încântat. So I would end it with a T. Încântat. Ce mai faci? How are you? Usually when we meet someone in Romania, we say, hi, how are you? Bună, ce faci? Hi, how are you? Bună, ce faci? Without bună, just ce mai faci? It's more like, how have you been? Ce mai faci? How have you been? How are things going with you? How has it been going with you? Bună, ce mai faci? Or bună, ce faci? And the conversation would be very fast. Exchanging salutes would be bună, ce faci? Bine, tu? Bine, mulțumesc. Hi, how are you? Fine, thank you. And you? Great, thanks. Sunt bine, mulțumesc. Și tu? I'm fine, thanks. And you? If a professor would ask you, hi, how are you? They would say, bună ziua, ce mai faci? And I would say, mulțumesc, bine. Dumneavoastră? So I'm good, thank you. And you? I use dumneavoastră because it's the polite way to say you in Romanian. If I say you for one person, I would say tu. If I say you for and address it formally, I would say dumneavoastră. It's a bit long, but it's a useful word. I just want to mention one thing about mulțumesc. Just like in the you, for you is tu and dumneavoastră. So short word tu and longer word dumneavoastră, informal, formal. Mulțumesc is the Romanian, 100% Romanian word for thank you. But if we say thank you between friends, we might just say merci, which sounds like French. So it might be easier to remember for some people who study other European languages. But again, the most polite way to say is mulțumesc. Mulțumesc. And if you're between friends, merci. Merci. Vă rog. Please. So one example for very useful when we use please, like, could you please help me? Could you please help me? So I address someone that I don't know and I want to be polite. Like, could you please help me? Mă puteți ajuta, vă rog? Mă puteți ajuta, vă rog? When we want to say after you, we can just say please, as in please go ahead, or after you. We would say vă rog. Vă rog. After you, vă rog. Or if I order something at the restaurant, a salad, o salată, vă rog. A salad, please. As in, I would like a salad. Just the short version, a salad, please. O salată, vă rog. Vă rog. A veni, to come. A veni, to come. Am venit acasă după ce am mâncat la restaurantul italian. We came home after eating at the Italian restaurant. Am venit acasă după ce am mâncat la restaurantul italian. Again, it can be a sentence about myself or about us. It's the same form of the verb. Am venit, am mâncat. A gândi, to think. A gândi, to think. El nu a putut gândi nicio altă posibilitate. He couldn't think of any other possibility. El nu a putut gândi nicio altă posibilitate. A privi, to look. A privi, to look. Hai să mergem să privim apusul. Let's go look at the sunset. Hai să mergem să privim apusul. A vrea, to want. A vrea, to want. Astăzi vreau să stau acasă. Today I want to stay home. Astăzi vreau să stau acasă. A da, to give. A da, to give. I-am dat un cadou de ziua ei. I gave her a present for her birthday. I-am dat un cadou de ziua ei. Cu plăcere. You're welcome. So when someone says mulțumesc and say you're welcome, cu plăcere. Cu plăcere. This is one of my favorite words because I like how pleasure sounds like in English as well and in Romanian, plăcere. Romanians, so we believe that the Romanian language is a very sweet language and plăcere is one of the sweetest words that I know. Da. Yes. Da. Da. Da sounds like Russian because it's the same. Da. 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 Have to be very confident. Da. Nu. No. For no, we say nu. Nu. I did my hand like this, but so for gestures, when we say da, we nod, and for nu, we do like this. So, do you like the Romanian language? Da. Is it difficult? No. Something like that. Bine. Okay. Next one is okay. Okay. Bine. Bine. So for example, I said earlier, hey, how are you? I'm fine. Bună, ce faci? Bine. I'm okay. Bine. Mă scuzați. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Mă scuzați. Mă scuzați. It's a very polite way to say. If you address a friend of yours, mă scuzi. Mă scuzi. If you address it formally, mă scuzați. Mă scuzați. So if I'm on the bus and by mistake I happen to step on someone's foot or something, mă scuzați. Mă scuzați. Excuse me.
Want to speak real Romanian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at RomanianPod101.com.
A călători în străinătate. To travel abroad. Ai nevoie de un pașaport pentru a călători în străinătate. Ai nevoie de un pașaport pentru a călători în străinătate. You need a passport to travel abroad. If you're European, if your country's in the European Union, you don't necessarily need a passport to travel abroad. You just need some identification card. Easy, huh? A lucra un job cu jumătate de normă. A lucra un job cu jumătate de normă. To work a part-time job. A lucra un job cu jumătate de normă. To work a part-time job. Ea s-a hotărât să lucreze un job cu jumătate de normă pentru a face bani în plus pentru vacanța de vară. She decided to work a part-time job to make extra money for the summer vacation. I wanted to work at McDonald's to get some extra money, but my father wouldn't let me. So a lot of my friends used to when I was in high school. Yeah, the first thing, McDonald's. I'm like, okay. A participa la școala de vară. A participa la școala de vară. To attend summer school. A participa la școala de vară. To attend summer school. In order to graduate early, he decided to attend summer school. A învăța cum să gătească mâncare românească. To learn how to cook Romanian food. Săptămâna trecută m-am alăturat unui grup pentru a învăța cum să gătesc mâncare românească. Săptămâna trecută m-am alăturat unui grup pentru a învăța cum să gătesc mâncare românească. Last week, I joined a group to learn how to cook Romanian food. Have you ever tried Romanian food? You should try. I really like a dessert called papanaș. It's kind of like a donut. It has some cheese in it and jam on top with some sour cream. It's a really nice crust, but also sweet and sour at the same time. A delight. A face un grătar. To have a barbecue. Mi-am invitat noii mei prieteni la mine ca să facem un grătar. Mi-am invitat noii mei prieteni la mine ca să facem un grătar. I invited my new friends to my house to have a barbecue. I love barbecues. Who doesn't love barbecues? That's the thing to do in the summer, don't you think? A fi, to be. So our first verb, a fi, it means to be. Let's see an example. Ea este sora mea mai mică. She is my little sister. Ea este sora mea mai mică. I didn't have a sister, but I do have many soul sisters, and they mean the world to me. A plăcea, to like. Our next verb, a plăcea, to like. Îmi place să mă plimb dimineața. I like to take a walk in the morning. Îmi place să mă plimb dimineața.
I usually like to take long walks in the morning, but I'm too lazy to wake up, so that's a bit difficult and rare. A face, to do. Our next verb, a face, to do. De data aceasta, el și-a făcut tema foarte bine. This time, he did his homework very well. De data aceasta, el și-a făcut tema foarte bine. Good for him, whoever you are. Good job. A spune, to say. A spune, to say. Ea a spus că va fi acasă în seara aceasta. She said that she would be home this evening. Ea a spus că va fi acasă în seara aceasta. In this example, a spus is past tense. A explica, to explain. Our next verb is a explica, to explain. Învățătorul explică lecția. The teacher explains the lesson. Învățătorul explică lecția. In this example, învățătorul is a masculine form, so învățătorul is a male teacher. If we want to say a female teacher, it would be învățătoarea. Învățătoarea. Pullover, sweater. Our first word, pullover, sweater. Aceste pulovere sunt foarte elegante. These sweaters are very elegant. Aceste pulovere sunt foarte elegante. For English speakers, I believe pullover, sweater, is easy to remember because you just pull something over. You pull it over. So pullover, sweater. Ploios, rainy. Our next word is ploios. It means rainy, ploios. Furtunile din timpul sezonului ploios pot cauza întârzieri. Storms during the rainy season can cause delays. Furtunile din timpul sezonului ploios pot cauza întârzieri. That happens quite often, doesn't it? Vântos, windy. Our next word, vântos, windy. În luna martie va fi vreme vântoasă, dar caldă. In March, the weather will be warm, but windy. În luna martie, vremea va fi vântoasă, dar caldă. Răcoros, cool. Our next word, răcoros, cool. Din cauza vremii răcoroase, condițiile de condus au fost dificile. Because of the cool weather, the driving conditions were difficult. Din cauza vremii răcoroase, condițiile de condus au fost dificile. Toamnă, autumn. Our next word is toamnă, autumn. My favorite season. Raportul final va fi gata la toamnă. The final report will be ready in the autumn. Raportul final va fi gata la toamnă. This is a very funny expression in Romanian. My family usually uses it when they want to say that something will never happen. So, when are you going to clean your room? In autumn. That's never going to happen or something like that. So, it's a funny expression. Vă rog. Please. So, one example for very useful when we use please, like, could you please help me? Could you please help me? So I address someone that I don't know and I want to be polite. Like, could you please help me? Mă puteți ajuta, vă rog? Mă puteți ajuta, vă rog? When we want to say after you, we can just say please, as in please go ahead. Or after you, we would say vă rog. Vă rog. After you, vă rog. Or if I order something at the restaurant, a salad, o salată, vă rog. A salad, please. As in, I would like a salad. Just the short version. A salad, please. O salată, vă rog. Vă rog. Cu plăcere. You're welcome. So when someone says mulțumesc and say you're welcome, cu plăcere. Cu plăcere. This is one of my favorite words because I like how pleasure sounds like in English as well and in Romanian, plăcere. Romanians, so we believe that the Romanian language is a very sweet language and plăcere is one of the sweetest words that I know. Da. Yes. Da. Da. Da sounds like Russian because it's the same. Da. 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 Have to be very confident. Da. Nu. No. For no, we say nu. Nu. I did my hand like this, but so for gestures, when we say da, we nod, and for nu, we do like this. So, do you like the Romanian language? Da. Is it difficult? No. Something like that. Bine. Okay. Next one is okay. Okay. Bine. Bine. So for example, I said earlier, hey, how are you? I'm fine. Bună, ce faci? Bine. I'm okay. Bine. Mă scuzați. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Mă scuzați. Mă scuzați. It's a very polite way to say. If you address a friend of yours, mă scuzi. Mă scuzi. If you address it formally, mă scuzați. Mă scuzați. So if I'm on the bus and by mistake I happen to step on someone's foot or something, mă scuzați. Mă scuzați. Excuse me. A folosi. To use. A folosi. To use. Fata a folosit telefonul meu mobil ca să o sune pe mama ei. The girl used my cell to call her mother. Fata a folosit telefonul meu mobil ca să o sune pe mama ei. Hello, Mom. I love you. Bye. So in Romanian, of course, it's okay to say my mobile phone, telefonul meu mobil. But sometimes because we want to make like economy word, we might just say mobile. So you can use my mobile. Poți folosi mobilul meu, my mobile. And it means mobile phone. So you can choose your words. Long version or economic version. It's the same meaning. A ieși. To go out. A ieși. To go out. Era prea frig pentru a ieși să se întâlnească cu prietenii lor. It was too cold to go out to meet their friends. Era prea frig pentru a ieși să se întâlnească cu prietenii lor. A lucra. To work. A lucra. To work. Va fi atât de distractiv să lucrez la proiectul acesta împreună cu toți prietenii mei. It will be so much fun to work with all my friends on this project. Va fi atât de distractiv să lucrez la proiectul acesta împreună cu toți prietenii mei. A intra. To enter. A intra. To enter. Te rog, așteaptă până când tatăl tău va intra pe poarta principală. Please wait until your father enters the main gate. Te rog, așteaptă până când tatăl tău va intra pe poarta principală. A simți. To feel. A simți. To feel. După ce ea a plecat, Alex începuse să se simtă foarte trist. After she left, Alex began to feel very sad. După ce ea a plecat, Alex începuse să se simtă foarte trist. Bună! Hello! Bună! 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 Bună dimineața! Good morning! Bună dimineața! Bună dimineața! We usually say bună dimineața in a very formal way. So I would say bună dimineața to my parents when I wake up, or when I get to school to my professors. It's quite formal. But if I would say it to my cousins or brothers or sisters or friends, I can be friendly and say Neața. Bună ziua. Good afternoon. The next one is good afternoon. Good afternoon. Bună ziua. Bună ziua. So if I see my professor, bună ziua. Bună ziua. First we did hello as in bună. So we use bună and then we add the time of the day. Bună ziua. Bună seara. Good evening. Good evening, we say bună seara. Good evening. Bună seara. We learned how to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Good morning, bună dimineața. Good afternoon, bună ziua, and good evening, bună seara. Cum vă numiți? What's your name? When we meet someone and they don't introduce themselves, we might want to ask them their name. So if they're about the same age and you want to say it casual, you say cum te cheamă? Cum te cheamă? Or cum te numești? Cum te numești? For example, if I see a little girl and I want to ask her name, cum te cheamă? Or cum te numești? However, if I address an older person, I would say cum vă numiți? Cum vă numiți? Or cum vă cheamă? Cum vă cheamă? The polite way in Romanian to address someone is usually to put it in the plural form. Even if it's only one person, we address that person as if there are more people. It's funny because in English you have you for one person or for many people, but in Romanian you can address to one person as if you're addressing more people, and that is polite.
Are you feeling confident as a beginner level language learner? Are you ready to move up to the intermediate level? Here are some tips to help you make that leap and advance your language learning progress. Tip number 1, determine your skill level. It's important to look across your skills in the major language competencies: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. By taking our level assessment test, you can review your skills in each competency and see your strengths and weaknesses. Keep in mind it's normal to be better in some skills than others. Premium Plus users can take our level assessment test and get personalized recommendations and learning pathways based on your results. Once you've figured out which skills need work, it's time to take action. No matter which of your language skills need to be improved, make sure you choose a method that's both effective and fun to help maintain your regular learning routine. Tip number 2, listening. The most effective way to build your listening comprehension is by building a strong vocabulary. The more vocab you master, the easier it will be to understand the context and details of the conversation. Songs in the target language are a key listening tool that will teach you common, everyday vocabulary. By learning and memorizing the lyrics, you're building up your vocabulary. If you really want your listening skills to take off, listen to our podcasts. We have hundreds of hours of audio lessons for you to listen to. Before you know it, you'll be able to understand shows and movies. Tip number 3, speaking. Add speaking elements to your language routine. Try shadowing podcasts, repeating along while you listen. Match the native speaker's pronunciation and intonation. This is a fantastic way to improve your fluency and accuracy. You can also find a partner for conversation exchange. A partner can help correct your mistakes and teach you more natural ways to phrase your ideas. Tip number 4, writing. An easy way to start writing more often is by keeping a one-sentence journal. Write one sentence in a journal every day. It doesn't take a lot of time and is a great habit for beginners to build a routine. You have to be consistent to make improvements. Ask native speakers to correct your writing to improve even faster. You can submit sentences and phrases to your teacher using Premium Plus. Tip number 5, reading. Reading is a skill you can improve by yourself. There's no need to rush. It doesn't matter if you read 1 or 100 pages at a time. What matters is that you understand what you read. Write down new words as you read them to practice later. If there's an audio version, read along with the narrator. It'll help you read at a slightly faster speed than normal. You can use the audio that comes with each of our lessons. Bonus tip, never give up. Where do your language skills currently stand? Where do you want them to be? How do you get there? Whatever your goal is, make it clear and part of your life. You'll reach it if you stay focused and positive. And if you really want your skills to take off, make use of our tools and resources. They're designed to help you get to the next level in the fastest, easiest, and most fun way. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free lifetime account. Sign up takes less than 30 seconds. Click the link in the description and start learning right away. I'll see you there. Bye!
Want to speak real Romanian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at RomanianPod101.com.
Welcome to RomanianPod101.com's Română în 3 minute, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Romanian. Bună! Sunt Raluca. Îmi pare bine. Hi! Sunt Raluca. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Romanian phrases. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Romanian. You'll be surprised how easy it is. Are you ready? Here we go. Let's start with a polite and common way to introduce yourself. Bună! Sunt Raluca. Îmi pare bine. Hi! I'm Raluca. Nice to meet you. Bună! Sunt Raluca. Îmi pare bine. The first word is bună, which means hi or hello. After that comes sunt, which means I am. Then say your name. For example, bună, sunt Raluca. Hi, I'm Raluca. Finally, say îmi pare bine, which means nice to meet you. So altogether, it will be bună, sunt Raluca. Îmi pare bine. Hi, I'm Raluca. Nice to meet you. There is also another way to say your name. Instead of sunt Raluca, I could say mă numesc Raluca. Mă numesc literally means I call myself. But we use it to mean my name is. Bună, mă numesc Raluca. Îmi pare bine. Hi, my name is Raluca. Nice to meet you. Bună, mă numesc Raluca. Îmi pare bine. Again, let's take a look at these 2 ways to introduce yourself. Bună, sunt Raluca. Îmi pare bine. Hi, I'm Raluca. Nice to meet you. Bună, mă numesc Raluca. Îmi pare bine. Hi, my name is Raluca. Nice to meet you. Now, it's time for Raluca's insights. In formal situations, people in Romanian-speaking countries greet each other by shaking hands. On the other hand, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we kiss each other on both cheeks. So don't be surprised if this happens to you. Do you know how we say thank you in Romanian? You'll learn how to say this and many other words in the next lesson. Pe curând! See you soon! In the last lesson, you learned how to introduce yourself in Romanian. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to use good manners as you thank people. Sunteți pregătiți? Are you ready? Să începem! Let's start! Saying thank you in Romanian is very easy. It's just one word. Mulțumesc. Mul-țu-mesc. Mulțumesc means thank you. To say thank you very much, you just need to add foarte mult after it. Foarte mult means very or a lot. Mulțumesc foarte mult. Mul-țu-mesc. Foarte mult. For a simple thanks, mulțumesc will be enough. If you'd like to say more than just thanks, mulțumesc foarte mult is good to use. Now, it's time to listen and repeat. Mulțumesc. Mulțumesc foarte mult. Now, how do you respond to thank you in Romanian? It's easy. The most common way to say you're welcome is pentru nimic. Pentru nimic. Nimic means nothing. So pentru nimic literally means it's nothing. But we use it to mean you're welcome. So when someone says mulțumesc to you, you can simply reply with pentru nimic. Now it's time for Raluca's insights. If you're not sure about whether to use mulțumesc or mulțumesc foarte mult, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. You don't have to worry about formal or informal situations. Mulțumesc can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and at any time. Do you know how to say goodbye to your friends in Romanian? In our next lesson, you'll learn this and other more greetings. Pe curând! See you soon!
Bună ziua, doamnă! Mă numesc Paul Iordache.
Îmi pare bine, domnule. Mă numesc Popescu Georgiana.
Îmi pare bine, doamnă.
Bună tuturor! Sunt Raluca. Hi everybody! I'm Raluca. Welcome to RomanianPod101.com's Română în 3 minute, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Romanian. In the last lesson, you learned how to show thanks by saying mulțumesc. In this lesson, you'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Romanian. Sunteți pregătiți? Are you ready? Să începem. Let's start. The most common greeting is bună. Bună. Bună means hi or hello. We can use it in formal and informal situations at any time of the day. It's very convenient. Bună. Now, let's look at some greetings that are used at certain times of the day. First is good morning. In Romanian, it is bună dimineața. Bună. Dimineața. For the rest of the day, we say bună ziua. Bună ziua. Bună ziua means good afternoon. This can be used all day as long as it's light outside. Once it starts to get dark, you can switch to this. Bună seara. Bună seara. Bună seara can mean good evening or good night, depending on the situation. Again, that's bună seara. Now, you can greet people in many different ways in Romanian. Let's review them all again. As a general greeting, bună. In the morning, bună dimineața. In the afternoon, bună ziua. In the evening or at night, bună seara. Pretty easy, right? Now, it's time for a look at insights. If you're not sure which greeting is appropriate to use, bună dimineața, bună ziua, or bună seara, just remember that bună can be used any time of the day. During the next lesson, you'll learn the meaning of vorbiți engleza. Do you already know it? In our next lesson, you'll learn this phrase and more. Pe curând! See you soon! In the last lesson, you learned the most common greetings in Romanian. Do you remember them? In this lesson, you're going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you're in a situation where you need help in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. Here's the formal way to say it. Vorbiți engleza. Vorbiți engleza. Again, this means, do you speak English? The word vorbiți is a form of the verb a vorbi, which means to speak. A vorbi is known as an e-verb because it ends in e. Most e-verbs conjugate in a similar way. We will show you how to properly conjugate e-verbs like a vorbi in future series at RomanianPod101.com. Now, let's make this sentence informal. This is done by adding ești to the end of a vorbi after you cut the last vowel e. When we do that, we get vorbești. Altogether, vorbește engleza, vorbești engleza. This is the informal way to ask, do you speak English? The responses you receive could be one of these three. Da, vorbesc engleza, meaning yes, I speak English. Da, vorbesc engleza. Da, vorbesc puțin, meaning yes, I speak a little. Da, vorbesc puțin. Nu vorbesc engleza, meaning no, I don't speak English. Nu vorbesc engleza. In all of this, vorbesc means I speak. In the last one, we have nu vorbesc, which is the negative form. It means I don't speak. Now it's time for a look at insights. If you want to ask about a different language, just change the word engleza. Here are some language names to get you started. Italiana for Italian, Rusa for Russian, Francesa for French, Germana for German. Do you know how to say I'm sorry in Romanian? In the next lesson, you'll learn how to apologize and more. Pe curând! See you soon!
Domnule profesor, cum se spune a fork în română?
O furculiță.
Puteți repeta încet, vă rog?
O furculiță.
Puteți să scrieți, vă rog?
In the last lesson, you learned the phrase vorbiți engleza, meaning do you speak English? In this lesson, we're going to learn how to apologize or say excuse me in Romanian. The basic phrase for excuse me is mă scuzați. Mă scuzați. We can also use it when asking a question. Mă scuzați, unde este baia? Meaning, excuse me, where is the restroom? Mă scuzați. Unde este baia? Another way to say excuse me is pardon. Pardon. Just like mă scuzați, we can use pardon when asking a question or when apologizing. Both of these phrases can be used for either excuse me or I'm sorry. But if you really want to apologize for something, it might be better to use a different phrase. That phrase is îmi pare rău. It means I'm sorry and can be used in both formal and informal situations. Îmi pare rău. Unlike the others, îmi pare rău only has the meaning of I'm sorry and not excuse me. Now it's time for a look at insights. Please remember that if we accidentally bump into someone on the street, we don't usually say I'm sorry, îmi pare rău. Instead, we say mă scuzați or pardon, excuse me. Are you able to count in Romanian? In the next lesson, you'll learn the numbers in Romanian from 1 to 10. Pe curând! See you soon! In the last lesson, you learned some words you can use when apologizing in Romanian, including mă scuzați and pardon. In this lesson, you are going to learn numbers in Romanian. Yes, numbers, numerele, from 1 to 10, and you are going to learn them in only 3 minutes. 3 minute. Are you ready? Let's start. 1. 1. 2. 2. 3. 3. 4. 4. 5. 5. 6. 6. 7. 7. 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. 10. Okay, now repeat after me. I'll say the numbers and give you time to repeat each one. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Great job! What is before 1? Do you know? It's similar to English but has a slightly different pronunciation. Zero. Zero. You don't have any more excuses. Now you can give your phone number to friends in Romanian. Let's try together. We'll use the phrase numărul meu este, which means my number is. Numărul meu este. Numărul meu este 0, 9, 3, 5, 5, 4, 2, 7, 6, 1. Can you understand it by yourself? 0, 9, 3, 5, 5, 4, 2, 7, 6, 1. Perfect. Now it's time for a look at insights. When you go to some public institutions in Romania, you sometimes have to stand in line with a number. When it's your turn, they will scream, numărul 1, numărul 2, and so on. Learn your numbers well so you can be ready. Do you know the Romanian word for 100? In the next lesson, you are going to learn the numbers from 11 to 100 in Romanian. Your task now is to practice the numbers we studied in this lesson from 1 to 10. Pe curând! See you soon!
Bună, mă numesc Masanobu.
Bună, eu sunt Andreea. Bine ai venit în România!
Mulțumesc! Sunt încântat să te cunosc în sfârșit.
Și eu sunt încântată de cunoștință. Să mergem să vedem orașul.
Cu drag!
Bună tuturor! Sunt Raluca. Hi everybody, I'm Raluca. Welcome to RomanianPod101.com's Română în 3 minute, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Romanian. In the last lesson, you learned how to count up to 100 in Romanian. I hope you spend some time practicing the numbers because they will come in handy in this lesson. We're going to learn how to go shopping in Romania. The first thing you need to know how to say is how much is it? Cât costă aceasta? Cât costă aceasta? Imagine you see something you like and want to ask the shop clerk how much it costs. The first thing to say is mă scuzați or pardon. Do you remember what this means? Excuse me, then simply add cât costă aceasta, meaning how much is it? Mă scuzați, cât costă aceasta? Excuse me, how much is it? Mă scuzați, cât costă aceasta? Or, pardon, cât costă aceasta? Pardon, cât costă aceasta? If you want to be more specific when you're asking how much something is, you just need to add it at the end of the sentence. However, you need to change aceasta to acest if it is a masculine noun or to această if it is a feminine. Let's see some examples. Homemade sausage, cârnat de casă, is one of the Romanian traditional dishes. Sausage is a masculine noun, so if you want to buy one, you'll say, mă scuzați, cât costă acest cârnat de casă? This means, excuse me, how much is this homemade sausage? Mă scuzați, cât costă acest cârnat de casă? Now, if you want to buy a shirt or cămașă in Romanian, which is a feminine noun, you would say, mă scuzați, cât costă această cămașă? Excuse me, how much is this shirt? Mă scuzați, cât costă această cămașă? By the way, for more information on masculine and feminine nouns in Romanian, check out lesson 3 of the all about series on RomanianPod101.com. At this point, the shop clerk might confirm by saying acest cârnat de casă, meaning this homemade sausage, această cămașă, meaning this shirt, or just acesta, meaning this. When telling you the price, they will say acest cârnat de casă, 39 de lei, meaning this homemade sausage, 39 lei, or această cămașă, 39 de lei, meaning this shirt, 39 lei. Now it's time for Raluca's Insights. A faster way to ask about the price of something is cât e, which is a different way of asking how much. For example, if you're in a hurry for a coffee, you can ask the cashier, o cafea vă rog, cât e, meaning a coffee please, how much. This is a shorter, more informal way to ask for the price. At this point, can you count lei in Romanian?
Want to master grammar so you can speak properly, express yourself better, and understand more? In this video, I'll show you how to master grammar with our lessons and learning program. Let's begin. Number 1. Listen to the lesson conversations and explanations. In every lesson, you learn a conversation. Then, our teachers break down every word and grammar rule. So you're actually learning grammar rules in the context of conversations, and you can easily see how they're used. Once you're done, review the conversation again and again to remember what you've learned. Number 2. Read the bonus explanations and tutorials. With the lesson notes, you get extra grammar explanations and examples that are not presented in the lesson. After you're done with the lesson, read the lesson notes for extra review. You can even save them as PDFs so that you can access them anytime. Number 3. Leave a comment on the lesson. Once you've learned a grammar point, be sure to use it. Leave a comment in the comments section. Write some example sentences for practice. Our teachers will review your comment and give you feedback. Number 4. Unlock even more grammar lessons. If you want to find all of the grammar lessons available, visit our lesson library. Under Category, choose Grammar. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons dedicated to helping you learn and master sentence patterns and grammar points. So, if you're ready to finally learn a new language the fast, fun, and easy way, sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up takes less than 30 seconds, and you'll start speaking from your very first lesson. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.